Hello everyone and welcome to your Healthfit 12 workout. We're your co-hosts Alissa Rossman with Boise Fitness Equipment.
And I'm Curtis French with French Fitness Professionals.
Today Curtis is going to take us through a total body workout with an exercise ball. Exercise balls are pretty amazing tools. Curtis, what is your favorite thing about an exercise ball?
Well, for one, I love the versatility of an exercise ball. You don't need weights. You can use your body weight and work the entire body. But also is when you do your exercises, you pretty much use the entire body to do the exercise. So there's a ton of versatility to it.
Use your core, and we've used them basically as a dumbbell bench as well, right?
Yes, yeah, that's really cool. So whatever you do on a bench or exercise-wise with the dumbbells, you can use the ball as a bench. Good
deal. And like we've talked about before, it's important to get a good quality ball with an anti-burst feature and a static burst rating of at least 1,000 pounds. If you're ever going to be using dumbbells with your ball workouts, I'd recommend Duraballs. That's what we use on the show. And they have a static burst rating of 4,400 pounds, meaning that you can put 4,400 pounds of pressure on the ball before it will burst. These are the same balls you'll see at most health clubs, and they're available at Boise Fitness Equipment. Curtis, is there anything we need to know before we get started today?
Yeah, if you're doing the exercise on a wood floor, I would suggest you use a sticky mat or a yoga mat, just so the ball doesn't slip. You'll definitely eat it if you're doing this on a wood floor.
And that's not fun. I've done it.
And you also just want to make sure you're not wedging the ball against furniture in the corner anywhere when you're doing the exercises, just so something sharp might not poke it.
Okay, well, sounds good. Well, let's get to it. Grab your exercise ball and a mat and join us for your Healthfit 12 workout when we come back.
Healthfit 12 is brought to you by Blue Cross of Idaho.
All right, welcome back for our Healthfit 12 total body workout. We're using a ball today. Why don't you describe what we're going to be doing for this first exercise?
All right, the first exercise we're going to be doing is the Swiss ball dumbbell bench press with one arm. So you're going to roll out with the hips elevated and press just like that. Now, when you're on your back, you want to do tongue on the roof of the mouth behind the front teeth. And I'll have you trade up. And you want to make sure the hips are high, that you're squeezing the glutes, you got the belly button in a little bit. And when you come down, what you want to make sure is only the back of the top of the shoulder touches the ball. And just keep it rolling through there.
So you don't want to drop it down too far.
Right. That's a good cue to not go too deep with this.
Okay.
And you should be feeling the hamstrings, glutes, and arms. Anyway, I'm going to have you go into the Swiss ball side flexion with the lateral raise. Now, you people at home can use a wall to anchor your feet against. What Alyssa's going to do is just slightly bend over the ball and then come up, doing a side flexion, keeping her arms straight, laterally raising the weight, only to where it comes in line with the shoulder. There you go. This is awesome because it's hitting the lateral oblique trunk muscles. And let's go the other side. And it's also hitting the delt and some part of the hip. There you go. It's always important you just keep the elbow straight.
It's hard to keep my elbow straight. I want to bend it.
So this works the shoulder right here on the lateral delt. And then it works right down here with the oblique. And you always have the belly button sucked in. Very good. And then you're going to roll right back into the dumbbell press on the Swiss ball. Now, there's another way you can do this. I'm going to have Alissa hold her arm up. She's going to do a Swiss ball press with rotation. So this puts a little more added flavor onto the oblique. And then it works the glutes a little more.
Ooh, I feel that in my glutes quite a bit more.
And it works the upper back. So it's going to work the scapula adductors. Awesome. And I'll have you go to the other side. Now, always tongue on the roof of the mouth, belly button in. Good. Now, it's important you try and keep those hips up as high as you can when you do this.
And
Nice.
palm facing in, right?
Yeah, so on this opposite arm, you want to have the palm facing in towards you. Like you're pulling something in really tight. And you're pulling that shoulder underneath you. So as you press, you want to think you're going to pull and push. Good. And we'll go right back into the Swiss ball side flexion. Awesome. Now, if it bothers you to go over the ball too far, you can just stay in a frontal plane and just rep it out from here.
Like this?
Yes.
Ooh, I feel that in my shoulder a lot more.
Oh, yeah, that's going to isolate the shoulder. But if you want to add that oblique and then this lateral hip muscle, definitely you want to flex.
Switch.
Yeah. Awesome. Good. So if you notice between the two exercises, you're getting a lot of oblique work
Oh, yeah.
and back work. And don't cheat by bending that elbow. Keep it locked out. There you go. Use those abdominal muscles to come up. Nice. Very good. And let's go right back into the Swiss ball press with rotation. Now, you can use quite a bit of weight on these if you have the right ball for this.
Right.
Right, but
Like
you
this
want to
one?
make sure those hips are high.
Like this one's the Duraball that we
Uh-huh.
talked about. It's got a 4,400 pound static burst rating, but a lot of the ones you'll see at department stores they might say
And the
1,000,
switch? Yeah,
but you want to make sure that you're getting a good one.
yeah. Because I do have clients that do this up to 60 pounds with dumbbells. There you go. Nice. Now, remember, tongue on the roof of the mouth, navel in, and hips high, really high hips. There you go. This hits the glutes a lot, too.
Oh, it does.
I like it.
And hamstrings.
Oh, yeah. And nice. Okay, now the Swiss ball side flexion.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. So you got the belly in. Good.
So what happens if
Awesome.
I don't suck my belly in?
Well, what happens is the transverse abdominis, which is basically your body's natural weight belt, you don't have as much support for the back with your abdominals when you don't suck it in. So when you suck it in, you basically are like cinching up a weight belt and supporting your low back.
Okay. Well, that
There you
makes
go.
sense.
Good. Now remember, use a wall or a couch or something to anchor your feet. If you don't have anything, it's going to be really tough to come up.
Hard to balance.
Yes, you're just going to go bloop. Nice. All right, and that's it for those
All
two.
right. Well, that's it for our first set. Go ahead and grab a drink and join us when we return for our second set of your total body workout. And welcome back to our second set of our total body workout here on Healthfit 12. What do we have in store for our second set?
Okay, now we're going to do the tricep extension on the Swiss ball. So I'm going to have you roll out. This is also notedly called a skull crusher, and the reason for this is you can crush your skull doing it. No. But what Alyssa's doing here, of course, she's in that same plank position when she was doing the dumbbell bench press on here. You want to keep the hips up as high as you can, squeeze that glute as tight as you can. But you want to pretend there's an invisible balloon here, and you're going to try and squeeze that with your elbows. And then try not to hit the face, too. That's important. But what this does, and you want to keep your elbows in line with the shoulder. Awesome. Now, the next thing we're doing is a dumbbell row on the Swiss ball. Now, it's always good to have something to put your feet on so you don't come sliding back off the ball. But what Alissa's doing is she has an overhand grip, and she's leading with her elbows and bringing her scapulas together, pinching them together at the end range. Good. Now in this, what you want to do is lift your chest as high as you can, and as those dumbbells go down, you don't allow the weight of the dumbbell to pull your torso down towards the floor. Good. And you also want to tuck your chin. So no looking up, you guys. Very nice.
What would that do?
Well, it will strengthen the sternocleidomastoids and upper traps when you look up. And then if you do that too much while you exercise, what will happen is, let's change to the next. What will happen is it'll encourage forward head.
Oh, so that,
You know, you create a nice, nasty muscle imbalance in the neck. All right. So again, we're back to the skull crushers. Oh, got these
there we
back
go.
on. Now again, hips up high. So this is hamstrings, glutes, low back, triceps. These are the muscles you're working. You're also getting a little bit of instability because you're on a ball and having to control either side. But once again, it's important you keep it in. If you let the elbows flare, you're going to be working less and less tricep. So you want to remember there's an invisible ball right here, and you're trying to squeeze it on every extension as you come up. Very good. Now you always want to remind yourself, hips up, because it's very easy to let those things droop.
yeah, as you get tired, you want to
Yeah.
drop.
So keep them up.
All right.
Very nice. And again, tongue on the roof of the mouth. Anytime I have you guys laying on your back, just make it a point to put the tongue on the roof of the mouth behind the front teeth. Here you go. Now on this, if the back is bothering you, the low back, while you do this, you can come back down the ball. Alissa, I'm going to have you slide down the ball. There you go. Get a little more pressure off the low back. You can also, before you go into extension, or initiate the exercise, squeeze your butt together really, really tight, and that'll help isolate the back out from extending too much. Very good. But this is an extensor chain movement, so what it's going to do is work minimally the glutes and hamstrings, but it's also going to work your entire rector spinae muscles along the spine, your scapula adductors and posterior deltoids, your biceps. All right, awesome. Back to the triceps. Oh, and look, we're working some extensor chain muscles here too. That's weird. Oh. Gotta love the ball. And then always elbows in line with the shoulder. Good. Now, if your butt's getting really, really fatigued from this, you can drop it, but then that wouldn't be any fun. So lift it back up. If it's on fire, let it burn. Nice. Now, on this exercise is really hard on the triceps. So you typically don't need a ton of weight in the beginning to do this. Remember, maintain proper form. So only allow the weight to go up when you do this as much as you can maintain perfect form. So if you go up in weight and your elbows are like flaring out like that,
Yeah.
or coming out wide, the
When I
weight's
get
too
tired,
much.
my elbows
Yeah.
always come out, so I should probably.
Nice. And I'll have you go to the other one. Very good. Awesome. Now, if your back doesn't hurt you, you can come up as high as you can with the chest on the hips. And at this point, you're going to need a good anchor, like a nice wall, to push your feet back into. And you want to lift really high with the chest, really high. Good. And remember, it's really easy not to move your scapula. So at the in position, bring those babies together, trying to touch them. Try and pinch your scapulas together at the in point. Good. And remember, don't allow the torso to drop as you let the weight down. Keep those erector spinae muscles engaged. Good. Very nice. And chin tucked. Doing great, Alissa. All right, and that's all we got.
Whew. All right, well, go grab a drink and join us for our last set right after this.
Healthfit 12 is brought to you by Blue Cross of Idaho.
Welcome back. Joining me is Karen Early, Director of Corporate Communications for Blue Cross of Idaho. Today we're going to discuss how to save money on prescription medication. Karen, what exactly is a generic drug?
A generic drug is an exact copy of a brand name drug. It has the same strength and the same effectiveness, but usually costs a lot less.
And how much can someone save by utilizing generic drugs?
Well, it depends on if you have insurance or not. With insurance, most insurance plans have coverage for generic drugs where the patient pays a lot less out of pocket than for a brand name drug. If you're paying out of pocket yourself and paying the full cost of the drug, the difference can be a lot.
And what kinds of programs do pharmacies offer related to generic drugs?
Well, some pharmacies have offered a program where you can pay $4, which is often less than even the co-payment from your insurance plan, for a list of drugs. So you can sometimes look at that list of drugs and see if your drug's on it and save a lot of money that way.
And is it a good idea to shop around for the best prices?
Well, yes and no. It's always good to get a good price on things, but if you go to pharmacy, you're losing the opportunity for the pharmacist to check and make sure there aren't any interactions that could harm you from the drugs you might be taking. So if you do switch pharmacies, be sure and tell your new pharmacist all the drugs you're taking.
So should someone switch pharmacies to always try and get the best deals, or?
Well, it kind of depends. I mean, I think that it's best to probably look for the best place over time to make sure that you have a good relationship with your pharmacist and get the best prices over time and use the services of that pharmacist wisely.
And should patients ask their doctors or pharmacists about generic drugs?
Always. And always ask your doctor for ways that you can save money. Physicians can certainly look up in their reference materials to see whether or not the drug that they're recommending to you is available in a prescription form. In a generic form.
So that's great information. So join us next week when Karen will be back to give us more ideas on how to save money on your healthcare costs. And welcome back to our final set of our Healthfit 12 total body workout. Today we're using a Duraball. What do we have on our last set?
Well, we're going to be doing some preacher curls on the ball and some reverse flies for the posterior scapular adductor. So we'll start with the reverse flies on the ball. Now, the reverse flies are typically the same. What's going to happen is you're going to go face down, extend the chest, lifting high, slight bend in the arm, thumbs facing each other.
What about hand position? I know
That's
typically
thumbs facing each other is really important, because if you start turning the hands the other way, you're going to rotate the shoulder where you start to get an impingement in the shoulder, and we really don't want that. So as you come up, I want you to, at the in range, bring those scapulas together, because you can never get enough back work.
Especially
Awesome.
as forward as we typically are during the day.
And I'm going to have you go into the preacher curl. So what you're going to do is just transition with your elbows over the ball and curl. It's very easy. One thing to note, though, when you're doing the reverse flies, you typically don't need a lot of weight because it's a very small muscle you're working, but feel free to go up a little bit in the weight here on the biceps. Because doing soup can reverse flies and then going to soup can, preacher curls.
Not doing a whole lot of work.
There's not a whole lot of resistance going on there.
So yeah, really push yourself.
Yeah. Challenge yourself a little bit. Take it to the edge. If you can only get like 6 to 8 reps out of this, that's great. Very nice.
Okay.
Now, if your elbows, I'll have you go back into the reverse fly, are bothering you on that, you can always roll back on the ball a little bit more with them on top. But before you start doing this, always make sure the back is extended. So you got good extension in the lumbar spine, got good extension in the thoracic spine, and there you go. And the head is tucked. So what you're thinking of, having a neutral chin or ears in line with the shoulder. Now, if your low back is bothering you, you can slide back on the ball to get...
this way?
There you go. That'll isolate it more up to the upper back. Or you can squeeze your glutes really, really, really tight before you come into the exercise, and that will allow you to not extend the back as much. Very good. Remember, in point range of motion here, you want to, so Alyssa's going to try and pinch my hand with her scapulas or shoulder blades. And she's
Whew.
keeping those thumbs down. Nice. And now let's go into the preacher curl. And that's preacher curl, as in a preacher, not creature. Awesome. Nice. And you can make this exercise a little more difficult with the weight you have just by rolling forward on the ball. And that will increase the load on the bicep. And as you come back, it'll take load off.
Yeah, it seems like at the top right here, you
Uh-huh.
kind of lose resistance if you're too far back.
And there you have resistance pretty much all the way through the movement. So you can play with it and see what challenges you the most. Remember, palms up on this. Very good.
All right.
Nice. Feeling those biceps yet?
Feeling the biceps and my entire upper back.
All right, let's go into the reverse fly. So
right.
basically what we're working here, entire extensor chain, hamstrings, glutes, erector spinae, scapula adductors, posterior delt. Very good.
Great for all of us who
Yeah.
sit at a desk or
It's a really
Hunched
good.
over a keyboard.
Yeah. Strengthens your postural muscles so you can stand up straighter. And you minimally will hit the triceps a little bit. But remember, palms or thumbs facing each other. So you want, as you come up, that means the thumbs are going to be pointed to the ground. Like you're giving someone the thumbs down sign. Very good.
really feeling that.
Scapulas, extensors, very good. Awesome. Should be burning by now.
Oh, it is burning.
All right, and let's go into our last set of preacher curls.
Okay.
And again, if you roll out more, like Alissa was saying, you really feel the back muscles kick in too, because if she had a lot of load on here, meaning more weight, that'd be really challenging these scapula adductor muscles, erector spinae muscles to stabilize the shoulder. Now, if you get shoulder pain during this, you might have the elbows pulling out of the arm too much, so you just come up and back. There you go. Now, when you have a lot of weight, it's not uncommon to hit pressure points in the triceps, and you might feel a lot of pressure on the tricep. But that usually doesn't happen until you start getting up over loads around 25 to 35 pounds.
Starting to feel the burn.
All right. Well, let's make it harder. No, all right, and we're done. Good job.
All right. Well, don't miss our last fitness tip and health challenge coming up right after this for our total body workout with our Duraball today.
Healthfit 12 is brought to you by Blue Cross of Idaho.
Thanks everyone for participating in today's Healthfit 12 ball workout. As always, if you have any questions regarding today's workout or any of the tools we've used on the show today, find Healthfit 12 on Facebook and send us your questions or feedback. We'll also be posting your weekly tips and challenges there should you need to refer back to them. With each show, we give you a weekly fitness and nutrition challenge for you to do during the week. Curtis, what is our challenge this week for fitness?
Well, I want everyone to work out 5 days this week and at least a half hour.
So anything in particular?
Just whatever you like the most. Of course, I'd like you guys to do some of our workouts and, walk, run, elliptical, treadmill, rower,
Maybe
anything.
take a lunch hour
yeah.
and do your workout then? Get out there and walk, enjoy the sun?
Exactly.
All right. And what about a nutrition challenge?
We have the top 20 antioxidant-rich foods on our Facebook page, and I want everybody, when they go out shopping, to pick 5 of those foods off those lists that you like and implement those into your daily regimen.
Yeah, and again, we'll have those on our Facebook page, so look there and pick those 5 grocery items for yourself. And that's it for today's HealthFit 12 workout. I'm Alissa Rossman of Boise Fitness Equipment.
And I'm Curtis French from French Fitness Professionals.
Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to working out with you next time. Everyone have a great week.